you will need to pick a topic to research for this class. This topic can be anything that you're interested in, as long as it lends itself to development. There are plenty of things that maybe are hobbies or something that is special to us, but when you think about it, um, it's a simple activity, or it's not really anything that you can probe depths of and make an observation about that other people may legitimately wonder about and ask for your reasons for believing what you do about that issue. So I'm not necessarily saying that you can't write on some of these things, like your hobbies or the a certain place you would like to visit. I'm sure there's a lot of new things you can learn about that, but you may really struggle with a topic like that to develop it and to use it for the different assignments that you can use it for in this class. It's a bit better to look into human issues that um, will help you grow as a thinker, as an ethical thinker, as a philosopher. We all have to embrace philosophy to some extent because we like to have meaning in our lives and we like to have connection in terms of the, our belief system. We usually have things we believe in, and those things form a sort of a system that guide our actions and our responses to things. And um, you know, there are issues and elements and ideas that you'll run into in your life that are much more complicated than maybe your favorite sport or your career choice or a land that you would like to visit or some item in history that's interesting, like the Titanic. I can't tell you how many times I've had students that want to write on the Titanic. Now, I've been teaching for over 25 years, and it does seem that this topic is finally falling out of, popularity or whatever. But, the idea of a big ship going down, I have to admit it is pretty interesting. But, how are you going to develop anything that creates interest, maintains it, and rewards it about that Titanic that hasn't already been done, to a very solid and good level, by the texts that are out there. So there's a sense that it's going to be very hard for you to come up with anything that can display your actual voice, your thought, your opinions about this. The Titanic is just out of reach, as really are a lot of things. When you think about it, you have to pick the right topic that's going to allow you to grow in this class in the sense of how to analyze it, how to define some of the issues that are at play in the topic, and how to see the ways other people and other groups of people think about this thing, this person or this element or this idea or this issue, and for you to be able to sort of navigate that and then to maybe develop a view or a position on it on your own with conviction, so where you actually truly believe that. And um, so picking the right topic is critical at the beginning. And I want you to think about it carefully. And any sort of reading that we do in the class, any sort of you know, maybe I'll send you to a online article, or I'll have a reading loaded up in a work folder. If I don't, then you don't have to worry about it. But if I do bring in some outside reading, then that is also um, some place you can look to for possible topics. If we have a book that we're reading together as a class or as a community of classes, sometimes colleges will pick a book to read that semester, and everyone will read it. Um, well, that book could be loaded with ideas, and if you use that book to find one idea that really or issue or topic to research, then that book automatically becomes a source for you. So, that might help you there as well. I don't want to tie you down to that, but to having to pick a topic that comes from one of those books. But it certainly helps. It simplifies you know the work, if you will. However, if you do have something that you've been thinking about for a while and you have some pretty strong opinions on it, uh, or you're trying to develop a view on it, you're trying to think about it, and at this moment, it just might be a question in your mind, but you know it's an important question. There are plenty of these right now. For example, one extremely important question is, to what extent is artificial intelligence going to render some college majors obsolete? And is this going to happen sooner than later? Is it perhaps going to happen to your major? And this might be something that might be uncomfortable for you to look at, but um, knowing ahead of time is certainly, I think, a better position. And so maybe the role artificial intelligence is going to have upon emerging graduates from the traditional American college system. I think that would be a great topic to pick. Now, there are plenty of others, but I'm just trying to give you one example that might be close to home for you. You know, so think about this. Come up with at least one if you can. If it occurs to you, it'd be good to come up with two or three because if you have more than one option, when you go to see what the community has said about it, and you go to try to find sources and information out there on it so that you can educate yourself on it. There might be a topic that actually not so many people have written on and or talked about in podcasts or done documentaries on. All of these are sources that you can use, and you might realize it's just hard, to find anything relevant or up to date on this. Well, then I would say let's leave that topic for another time. Uh, let's make this class less. Let's make it doable by picking a topic that actually has material out there for you to look at and examine. So, that also should play a part in what topic you pick. But just to clear up again, just to be clear, I'm letting you pick your own topic. Um, don't you know don't wait for the last minute because then you might quickly pick something that actually kind of just looks good on the surface, but is not going to be a good topic. There are poor topics out there, and I want you to become good at sensing those things and walking away from them. So, do spend some time thinking about this and look through the materials you have from either this class or other classes, textbooks, nonfiction books that you're reading, issues that are being brought up in other classes. Think already which maybe there is something already at play in your mind or in your, coursework from this class or another class that is interesting to you, and you can just pick that as a topic. I'm completely okay with that. But get started on this. Okay, right now it's just a mental activity. Very soon in work folder 2, you're going to have to identify the topic that you're choosing to research.